Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a new Mythic card from the Wilds of Eldraine set, Moonshaker Cavalry. So, let's get into it. I got pretty lucky. I pulled Moonshaker Cavalry earlier this week in my collector's box unboxing video. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. It's on my channel. But Moonshaker Cavalry is an incredibly powerful mythic from the Wilds of Eldraine set. I would hazard to say that this is one of the strongest cards in the set. One of the things that I think is really cool about the set is that there's a lot of synergy between a lot of the cards. They don't just necessarily have individual power where you just play that one card and you win. Things like Tainted Adversary come to mind with regards to individual power. But Moonshaker Cavalry definitely breaks that mold, and it's incredibly powerful. So this thing is an 18 mana, 6/6 flyer that reads, when this creature enters the battlefield, reinforce each creature you control one time. Then all of your creatures get a permanent +X buff and flying, where X is the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcements. So the Cavalry works really, really well if you're playing a token deck, and the Cavalry works really, really well if you are playing a deck with really big creatures. So what I decided to do was make a whole bunch of different decks and then show you guys my favorite one. And so this deck here that you're going to be seeing in the video is my favorite one. Now, keep in mind you can build the Cavalry in any way that you want, right? You can make a Puzzle Masters Ajani deck and use a bunch of tokens. You can try and use the new White Knights and make tokens. You can really do anything that's going to make a whole bunch of tokens. You can even go and do a throwback to Hangerback Walker, where you're not only going to get an 8/8 body, but you're going to get a whole bunch of Thopter tokens from your gem matches. And then you use these together, and then it's going to massively increase the power of the Hangerback Walker because of the 8/8 reinforcements, and then all the Thopter tokens are going to go ahead and give all your creatures a big buff. But what I thought would be fun would just be to be able to play as many Cavalries as possible. So what I did was I paired the Moonshaker Cavalry with both of Elesh Norn, which makes it so that the first time that you cast a creature, you get another copy and you cast it again, and Virtue of Knowledge, which also makes it so that the first time that you cast a creature while it's out, you get another copy. So the idea was to hopefully cast a whole bunch of versions of the Moonshaker Cavalry with Elesh Norn and Virtue of Knowledge down, and then just make really, really big creatures. Now, I decided to run this in a token variant, so I'm using Colony Garden here with Dryad Arbor to seed a bunch of gems and then get a bunch of elemental tokens, and then have those elemental tokens get swole from the Moonshaker Cavalry. Sorry, still getting over the cough. So the garden makes the 5/5 elemental tokens, so with this not only are we getting a bunch of tokens, but we're also getting really big bodies, and so that pairs really well with the Cavalry. Beyond that, I'm running some other pretty nutty broken things with the Elesh Norn Virtue of Knowledge combo, which is Teferi, which will automatically come out with full shields for the -8, Tamio, which will automatically come out with 7 shields to give all my cards full mana every turn, and the Kami War, which will come out 3 times and destroy 3 cards, and then go through its cycling saga thing. So the last cards in the deck are Nissa's Expedition, because that's going to fetch me my lands. And then the last one is Thunderous Debut, so that I can hopefully get as many of the Cavalries as possible. Now, I know that in the video that I'm showing the footage of, there's not a lot of interaction between Elesh Norn and the Virtue of Knowledge and the Moonshaker Cavalry. Instead, it's going to be with Thunderous Debut. But I think that that's okay, because it just shows that there's a lot of different ways that you can get this deck cooking. Now, you'll see that I've got white cards, I've got green cards, I've got blue cards, so I had to run this with Tamio, Field Researcher, and it worked out really, really well. So there are definitely going to be better ways that you can run the Cavalry, but I just wanted to really quickly go ahead and showcase just how strong this card is and show you why you should chase this card, because you definitely want to have this card in your collection. So let's get into the footage. So I got paired up against not Puzzle Masters, just Origins Chandra. She's not a super strong Planeswalker. The obvious match for me here is to take the red match on the right and have it cascade down to take both red matches so that my opponent doesn't get red matches. Tamio suffers from really bad mana gains, so none of her colored mana bonuses are particularly good. So in this case, taking the double red is going to do me more good than taking my own bonus gains here. And so I've got Nissa's Expedition here in my hand, which is really good. This is going to let me start getting my lands out. And then I've also got the Virtue of Knowledge. I was kind of going back and forth here as to which card I wanted to prioritize. And then I finally just decided on going with the Expedition first, because the lands are going to give me gem conversion. And with gem conversion, I'll be able to just ramp my deck and get all the things out that I want to get out here. So I've got a 5 matches, which is really nice. That's going to give me enough mana for both the Virtue and the Expedition. So I'm going to go ahead and play both of them. And then I've got Elvish Norn in my hand as well, which means that I'm going to get some opportunities for some copy madness, which is really, really good. So the Virtue of Knowledge comes down, and you'll see that I've got another copy of the Virtue. I'm going to go ahead and play the Colony Garden here. And then the Elvish Norn is going to make 2 more copies of Elvish Norn, one because of the Norn and one because of the Virtue. And then I'm also getting bonus copies of my lands from all of this nonsense as well. So I'm going to be getting even more of my elemental tokens. So I got 3 copies, which made 3 of those elemental lands, which is really, really nice. And so now here I've got my Dryad Arbor, which is perfect. Definitely need that. I wanted to check and see how close I was loyalty-wise to being able to get my 3rd ability down so that I could draw more cards and then hopefully draw into something good. But at this point, I've got the Thunderous Debut in my hand, and so that's going to be enough to get me my Cavalry. And so I just need to make sure that I get the Dryad Arbor down, because if I get the Dryad Arbor down, then that's going to seed more gems, because Dryad Arbor makes it so that when you get a green match, you seed gems, and that'll get me more of the elementals, which means that when the cavalry comes down, it'll be coming down in full force. The full cavalry will come down. So I'm at 5 of these elementals. I'm at 4 of Elvish Norn here. So I'm sitting pretty. I do like that quite a bit. And then now here, I'm kind of debating. I'm going back and forth if I want to use Thunderous Debut or not. I decide not to, because I would have to destroy one of my supports, and I really don't want to accidentally destroy a support that I need, basically one of my lands. And so the Virtue isn't quite as big of a deal right now. I'm actually just going to go ahead and cast the Kami War, which you'll see 3 of them coming down, even though my opponent doesn't have anything. Just in case they play anything this turn, but more importantly so that I can just hopefully have something else to destroy this turn when I use my Thunderous Debut. So I draw another Thunderous Debut, which is pretty cool. That's going to ensure that I'm going to get some of my cavalries here. So that's good. I'm going to use my 3rd ability here, see what I pick up. I don't get anything that I really want, so I'm just going to go ahead and toss all the excess stuff. I don't need it. I just want to get as many of the cavalries down. So here you'll see that I've got 2 Thunderous Debuts. That means that I'm going to be getting 4 cavalries down here, because each of those Thunderous Debuts is going to get bargained. I'm going to be destroying my supports. And so you'll get to see right now I'm at 43 total power on the battlefield, which is nothing huge. But you're going to see just how much Moonshaker Cavalry is going to buff everything up. So this first one alone gets us to 82 power that's attacking this turn. And that doesn't even factor in that I've got the Moonshaker Cavalry itself, which is coming in as a really thick buddy. And then now here we're already at 129 just from that first Thunderous Debut. We're going to take another Moonshaker Cavalry over here, and that's going to pump up the creatures even higher. It's going to allow us to go ahead, get another one down, get all of my creatures into the hundreds, and there's absolutely no way Chandra is surviving this. So that's going to be the end of the match. So yeah, you'll see that this card ramps real fast. It's real crazy. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.